Alright everyone, so it's almost 2 a.m. here, but I'm filming this video because I feel like it's important to get this information out and get the facts as straight as I can as soon as possible. If you want more information on this, I recommend watching the Subject 4 podcast's town hall meeting that they did earlier today, as Artemis and their crew have much more knowledge on the inside than we do, being moderators. However, here is kind of my quick video about what's going on here. So, what you need to know about the changes coming to Spellbound Plus. So the Spellbound Plus app and name, branding, and all of that will be shifting to reflect Project 863. Presently, and for the foreseeable future, Project 863 is the only story that Spellbound has running. And it's likely going to stay that way for a while they figure out internal things with Spellbound. They're also in the process of changing their perk systems to a tiered system. This will mean there will be 3 different tiers that you could subscribe at. The lowest tier starting at $1.99 a month, the middle tier starting at $4.99 a month, and the highest tier at $9.99 a month. We don't have any information as of right yet as to what these tiers are going to look like. I suspect this is information that Matthias and the crew have not figured out as of yet. So I would say keep your eyes peeled for that, and more information will come as they go. Users who were early adopters, so that is people who are currently Spellbound Premium users, or will be Spellbound Premium users before the end of October, will get grandfathered into the tiers at their rate that they're currently paying for 1 year, as long as their payment doesn't lapse. So I recommend getting on board with that if you are interested. The next point here, and this is the contentious point, they will be removing the free tier from the platform. Now, this is met with a lot of outrage in the community, a lot of people who were very upset. Just know that this was not a decision that was made without first weighing all of the options. Unfortunately, this is a reactionary thing that Spellbound had to do to combat a serious issue that was going on. Unfortunately, as is the nature with kind of free online account services, there were unfortunately some child predators on the platform who were preying on children and trying to get them to go to external sites like Discord, and unfortunately there were several reports of this, and there's no real solid moderation tools that Mighty Networks has in place to allow the team to be able to mitigate that. The moderators and the crew, Matthias as well, did as much as they could to try and avoid having to do this. However, they were left with really no choice at this point. When they disabled the DMs, even that was lackluster at best. This was a decision that was done in order to protect the vulnerable members of the community. It was not one based out of greed, and it was not one that was hastily come to. There was a lot of thought put into this. So what does this mean for the free users? Well, it seems like they're putting more stock on Reddit now, and what I mean by that is the subreddit is where they're going to do all of their reactionary content from now. So if you think of to how We Are 863 has been, that is going to be where you're going to do all of that content now. Spellbound Plus is going to remain more for other kind of premium perks. I sort of think of how a lot of YouTubers use Patreon. The other thing that came out of that was We Are 863 will be on a short hiatus. So Matthias and the team can figure out a better strategy for that content and make something that is more compelling. This is not something that's going away permanently. It will be back. They just need to go back to the drawing board. The last thing here is that Behind 863 itself is moving back to being a premium only perk. The biggest decision for that was because it destroys the immersion for people who don't want that. Because YouTube tends to recommend videos regardless of if you want them or not. So people who did not want the spell broken were being recommended Behind 863 videos, and this was causing issue. All of the changes mentioned here will take effect by the end of October of 2021. I would just ask that please be respectful to Matthias, to the crew, to the mods, and to each other. This was not an easy decision for Matthias, and as I said, it was not one based out of greed. It was simply the decision that needed to be made to protect the vulnerable members of the community. If you have any suggestions or feedback, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. But thank you everyone for listening. Have a great day. Have a great evening, and remember to breathe.